This morning, former President Donald Trump is back in Florida after becoming the first president ever to be arrested on felony charges. He's facing 34 counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors say Trump tried to illegally influence the 2016 election through a series of hush money payments to keep claims of infidelity out of the press. Trump did plead not guilty to those charges.
9 News legal analyst Whitney Traylor joins us now this morning to break it down for us. Whitney, you've been glued to everything that's been happening from yesterday's arraignment. What was your biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway is that this is going to be a fight. It's going to be an all-out fight. Joe Tacopina was on all the shows talking about his defense. You saw this kind of all-star defense team that he has. We didn't learn a lot from the indictment once they unsealed it because they didn't, in New York, they don't have to. In Colorado, our indictments are much more fact-based and narrative almost. So here it just had the 34 counts and it essentially said it was falsifying business records. But the question that everybody's been talking about is, okay, well, what escalates it to a felony? And that's really where they have to tie it to another claim. And that's either going to be some kind of improper tax reporting, some kind of campaign finance violation. And so there's all types of, I wish we had maybe 20 minutes. There's a lot of different legal technicalities that are going to be flushed out as we go forward. But it's technical and complicated.
That's why the question is, I mean, obviously the defense is trying to get this thrown out before it goes to a jury. They're sitting there saying that they can't find a fair, jury in New York. What are the chances that it goes to a jury?
Well, the chances are there's only a few options in this case. There's not going to be a plea. I can't imagine Donald Trump admitting guilt on any level, even a lesser charge. So it's either going to go to trial and there's going to be a decision made by a jury, or it's going to get dismissed beforehand. And there's going to be a flurry of motions and hearings. The next one's scheduled for December 4th. So they're going to look at, the defense team is going to try and uncover every possible tactic and strategy. One of them, statute of limitations. There's a statute of limitations on most felonies for 5 years. Secondly, they're saying, well, if you're trying to tie this to campaign finance, you don't even have jurisdiction on some of those claims. And third, they're saying, well, this was to avoid the embarrassment. He made this payment to avoid the embarrassment for his family. There's nothing unlawful about that. There's no crime being committed. So this thing is going to be a serious battle royale in court.
And as you mentioned, there's really only those two options, whether the case gets dismissed or it goes to trial. As we wait for anything to happen, what should we be looking for now?
Well, now the next thing would be the December 4th hearing, and what I wouldn't look for is what's being said across the political podium, because that's a whole different ballgame, calling it political and things like that. Really, the issue here is people are saying, oh, the system's not working. No, the system is actually working. Where are the controls along the way? Well, a motion to dismiss. If the claims aren't there, they'll get them dismissed. If they can't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, then there'll be a not guilty verdict. That's how the system works. So here, just the fact that they brought it doesn't mean the system is flawed. It means that, did he have the basis to bring these claims? Yes, there's a violation of this penal code for falsifying business records. And he's done that 30 other times on the same crime.
Yeah, just briefly, because we only have a few seconds left, but I want to pick your legal brain really quickly. And how easy is it to get a case like this dismissed? Is it more likely that we'd see that happen, or are we going to see this go to trial?
It's going to depend on what's in the motions. I know it sounds like I'm punting, but really the strength of the case is going to depend on really the nuts and bolts, which we just don't have yet.
Well, and I know you got to go off a lot of technicality too there. You got to get all your ducks in a row if you do want that to go to trial.
To make this happen, they have to connect a lot of dots. I think the bigger boulder to push up the hill is on the prosecution side. I think they have a tougher case, and the burden of proof is on them. The defense doesn't have to do anything. It's the prosecution that has that affirmative duty beyond a reasonable doubt.
I have a feeling you're going to be back on this topic a few times in the future.
Hopefully it's warmer when I come back.
Yeah, well, yeah. Tell me about it. Whitney, thank you.
Sure.
Well, Whitney, if you come back next week.